Well, good Wednesday morning to you. Chris Hare here, the world champion crypto cowboy. Going over ICP today. I think we've got a breakout going on. But thanks for sitting down with me this morning, having a cup of coffee. We're going to break it down and we're going to figure out exactly what's going on. But we're going to start off actually with the crypto fear and greed index. What that does is measures market sentiment, tells us if people are scared, if they're greedy, what's going on. Well, you can see we're in fear, just almost in extreme fear. We're at a 20. And I use this to make small spot purchases when we drop down into fear and extreme fear. And then what I do is DCA out when we get up into this greed. And it's worked really well for me in the past. So I've used that as a strategy with no leverage. That way, if it goes down for a little while, you just DCA in a little more. But we're going to pull up an altcoin season index. I think it's relevant since we're going over ICP. Currently at 25, we're in a Bitcoin season. This thing came up over the last week or so, even in the pullback until today and yesterday. You can see last week we were at a 31 and we were kind of inching our way over. But what we need to see is even in this pullback, and it was good, is that we only dropped from 26 yesterday to 25. So we'll keep a close eye on this. What we need to see is it get over in these lighter and darker blues, kind of like last month when we hit 50, 59, and then even better like in November and December when we got all the way up to 87. But we'll go on over to a liquidation heat map for ICP. This is what the market makers use to track your liquidity. Everything above price action is a short trade. Everything below price action is a long trade. You can see it's kind of a mixed bag, but it has been working up and kind of broke out. So cumulatively, got about $3.2 million worth of long liquidations. To the top side, we've got about 336,000 in liquidations. So what I think is they're going to come down and grab some of this liquidity, maybe do a retest after this breakout, and then I think you may have some more room to the upside. But we'll get into the charts. That'll explain that a little better. Start off with the 4-hour chart here. Kind of working down, made it all the way up to this 4-hour extension, which is extremely bullish. Now we're working our way back down. What I think you'll probably do is get a retest of this 200 smoothed moving average that takes 200 of these candles, puts a fluid line on the chart. Works as excellent support and resistance. So what I think is you come back down to there, you retest those, and then maybe come back to your 4-hour golden zone, retest these 50s. That takes 50 of these candles, puts fluid line on the chart. The white is a smoothed moving average, and the yellow is a simple moving average. The smooth is the composite of the simple and the exponential, which I don't really use, but I really like the white line. The charts really respect it, and you get a good idea of what's going on. So yeah, I think you come down, retest, and then I think you work your way back up. If for some reason you lose it, you've got a golden zone down here of 250 to 190. That would be your next steps. Moving on out to the daily, get a better understanding of what's going on and a bigger look at what's happening. You can see we kind of worked up and then fell down, had that horrible dump, and then it's just kind of consolidated. It hasn't moved. Finally broke out. Looks like yesterday. Probably Monday, but we've broken out. We've crossed the daily 50, so we're bullish, guys. Now we're in that daily golden zone, and like I like to see, I like to see these consolidate around and then work their way on out. You can see there's a wick here, so we'll at least fill part of that out. But the daily extensions sit at 797 up to 918. This thing's set up for a run, guys. If we do lose the 50 moving average, next stops would be 317 to 236. Moving out to the weekly, this is where it gets ultra impressive. Found a bottom here right around $1.10, which is okay. If you look at that on the weekly, that's really not that much of a move. But what it sets you up for is an even bigger move. Get above these 50s on the weekly. Your next stop's going to be 1349 to 1681. If you can consolidate, work on up out of there. Look at this, guys, $26 to $33. That is a huge, huge, huge gain. If we can get that far, I'm kind of excited about this. I hope you guys are too. But that gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on with ICP. Kind of ran through it pretty quick, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It looks like it's got quite a bit of room for upside. There is always a chance that we could come down and retest those lower golden zones, but it doesn't look that likely at the time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit around and watch this. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, see where that retest finishes out. And I may hop in a longer-term long trade here and just ride this thing all the way to the top. But I post all these charts in the crypto school. I've posted signals over there over the past few days. They've done really well. People have made several 100% in profit. But you can check that out. The link's in my description. You'll also find a link to BitUnex to get you started on trading. I know there's some cash back options there. And if you want to check out my X page, you'll find the link to that also. I just post random thoughts throughout the day. But if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like it, hit the subscribe, tap the bell notification. You'll get updates as soon as we upload a video. And don't forget to leave us a comment. It helps the YouTube algorithm. And I just enjoy reading what you guys have to say. But I'm going to wrap it up for this morning. I've got some work to do, got some horses to shoot, and some work to do around the ranch. But I'll be back later, and if anything happens, we'll post a short throughout the day. Chris Hare, the Crypto Cowboy, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you down the road.